some brandywines. I'm gonna try and sprout some ghost peppers over here. And we'll see how that goes. It's supposed to be the hottest pepper in the world. And then here's some tomato cuttings, which work really good. You pull off the suckers, stick them in some potting soil, and they root in a couple days as new plants. Works really good, really easy. So here's the lettuce raft. I just got done harvesting everything out of it, and now I'm planting the rows, well, 2 rows every week to try and just harvest. It works out way better. You harvest 6 plants instead of 24 at once. So there's some butter crunch, and I've planted a couple new varieties, little greenhouse varieties that are more compact. So hopefully they'll work even better. And this is a raft system. It's floating on water. So pull one of these up, you can, older ones, you can see where the roots grow down into the water. Just like so. Works really good. And these compact fluorescents are really cheap, and they work really good for growing lettuce and other leafy vegetables. So, and here's the peppers. They're grown extremely big lately. I'm going to put all these outside in containers because they're just outgrown in here. It's like a jungle. We've got some problemos down here. There's some Hungarian wax over there. They're producing great. You can definitely grow some hydroponic peppers with no problem. Some pepperoncinis. So I'm about flooding them, I say, every 2 days now. This is the frequency. It was when I first started every 6 to 7. So there's some in here, like this tall thing right here, I have to supplement and just hand water, you know, maybe a day early or something like that. Look at some of the trunks on these. How big around they've gotten. It's pretty impressive. You're looking at a little pot. But my idea is pretty much they're being air pruned right now, because all these holes, the roots will come to the edge there, and then the air, it's called air pruning, will actually kill the root. But in doing so, the root will sprout off new root hairs. And it's a great way to start your hydroponic plants. And right now, I'm pretty much starting them to go outside this way. So it's going to be interesting to see how big these things get throughout the course of the year. So anyway, that's about it. And we will see you soon. Thanks for watching.
No need to add soil, pesticides, or even water to this 6 by 8 foot garden, which produces over 100 pounds of fish and 400 vegetables a year. What kind of food facility is this? For one of our Next 500 companies, it's a system about to revolutionize how the world eats.
You are literally at the front edge of probably the most important technology that's come down the pike in food in a century. And it will impact more people over the next 25 years than anything else we know of.
Portable Farms makes on-site food production facilities using aquaponics, a unique farming technique using fish and plants.
When you mix aquaculture, which is raising fish in captivity, feeding them, and raising plants in water, and what we've done is we've combined the hydroponic component with the aquaculture component. So we raise the fish, use the fish waste to fertilize the plants.
Coley first pioneered the concept for portable farms in 1972 while he was a student.
It started by having to clean fish tanks at UC Davis. So it's like, there's got to be a better way to do this. And I started with a dish pan sitting on top of a fish tank with sand in it. The water's coming in. Plants grew like crazy for 2 weeks, and then they didn't like the water on their fruits all the time, and they quit. So I had to figure out, how do I make this work? How do I make this work? 37 years ago, from that to this.
Over the decades, Coley engineered a patented system that automatically removes sediments from the fish tank without clogging a pump, allowing fish and vegetables to grow healthier and faster than in any other aquaponic systems seen yet.
I wanted to make this so bulletproof that I could have my neighbor have this and not have Dave and Lisa call me up at 3 in the morning and say there's something wrong. So everything that we've done is to make it more and more and more reliable and simple. Make it as simple as you possibly can and still work.
Although a lot of engineering goes into a portable farm, like its gravel size, flow rate of water, and fish ratios, running a portable farm takes no special training.
People say, well, I'm not a farmer, I'm not a gardener. I go, well, can you harvest tomatoes? They go, well, yeah. I said, can you pull a plant out? Well, yeah. So I literally show them that you can take the old plant out and put a new plant in.
For such a farm that requires little work and no training, the results are impressive.
The largest unit, the 100 by 100 foot unit, is 10,000 square feet, produces enough lettuce to produce 400 side salads a day. 400
Wow.
side salads a day. Okay? And if you added in a few other ingredients, you could produce literally 500 to 600 salads a day, and you can serve 500 4-ounce fillets every 2 weeks. These things are incredibly productive.
Portable farms are so productive because fish stay in tanks wrapped with warming material, and plants stay under a greenhouse, cycling the same water over and over. As long as the farm can get a source of light and keep from freezing, portable farms can go anywhere.
Whether it's Southern California, Washington, upstate New York, Maine, Canada, these can be put in the Antarctic, for crying out loud. As long as you have grow lights, they can go anywhere. Our goal is eventually to have them all over the world.
Just a year ago, Coley and his wife decided to make portable farms their sole commitment. They wrote one press release announcing the new farm systems were available for purchase.
In 10 days, we had people from 121 countries look at our website, from all over. I'm just like, wow, what's going on?
One newspaper article published soon after compelled people to visit the portable farm's headquarters.
People just showed up. We took our website, we took our address off our website so people wouldn't show up. We've had 4,000 individuals come through here since January.
Portable Farms had to stop giving tours in order to focus on its business and is now working with 38 countries as well as with military bases, schools, prisons, and entire communities in need of food.
This is disruptive technology because you can now grow protein and vegetables in every setting, every city. These can be put on rooftops. These can be put in empty lots. So because you're raising food on site, you're creating it so that if you have pockets of hunger, you can put one of these units in and alleviate that hunger on the spot.
Portable farms may be able to impact the hunger dilemmas facing much of the world, including the U.S.
The statistic from Feeding America is that 1 in 8 Americans goes to bed at night hungry. That's the United States. That's an astonishing figure. And then in the world, basically 1 out of every 6 people is starving from protein malnutrition. How can you help that? Well, little by little, we may be able to put a dent in that.
A dent may be an understatement. This Next 500 company may lead a global game change for food production.
Will this change the world? In 25 years, this will be part of the landscape. Everywhere you go, you will see portable. People won't notice them anymore. They'll be that pervasive.
We are going to build a vertical wall garden today. How cool is that? It's made from 100% recycled plastic bottles, and it is the Woolly Pocket. This is called a Wally, and what we're going to do is install all the plants and seeds right in here. Come along with me, we're going to have some fun. There we go. There, nice and tight. And as you can see, it's super strong, so we can put a lot of weight in here. After drilling all 3 peacock blue wallies in, it's looking great. The next step is we install some shovels, and we're going to hang them along the wall here. And they are going to be climbers so that the beans that we're planting beneath them can climb right up and use them as a trellis. So, I'm putting my knee right here to hold this tight. All right, that's tough to drill in. Only about 14 more to go. Wow, does that look beautiful? It's all up on the wall and ready to plant. I am covered in dirt. Oh yes I am, because I have been filling this baby up all afternoon long. And here's what we're using. We're filling our woolly pockets with organic mechanic soil. It has lots of natural stuff in it, and most importantly, it has no chemicals added to the soil. Yay, all organic is good. So all you have to do is fill up each pocket. We're gonna put all the soil from this sack, the rest of it. And there you go. So all of these pockets, all 3 of them, because they're one solid pocket, each one, are filled halfway full. And now it's time to start planting. You want to start planting, don't you? Because that's the fun part. So next we're going to be planting both seeds and vegetables and flowers. So the middle pocket all the way down is going to have a mix of flowers and vegetables. So what I do is I take a flower out of the container. This is an impatient. And I plant it in. And the trick is that you give the plant a little squish when you put it in. So we squish it in, and then we fill in with extra soil all around the top. And there we go.
Growing your own usually means moving to the country, plowing the fields, cultivating the crops, harvesting the bounty for your table. But these days, more people are turning to their own backyards to create urban farms. One Southern California family is at the forefront of that movement. Drivers whizzing past on the 210 freeway through Pasadena have no idea that a stone's throw away from the fast lane is a lush but tiny Eden, a 4,000 square foot farm. It not only feeds a family, but revolutionizes the idea of what can be done in a very unlikely place, the middle of a city.
This is city living, but I brought the country to the city. Rather than having to go out to the country, I just imported it.
63-year-old Jules Dervais started this backyard farm 10 years ago. It's a deliberate throwback to the storied days of self-reliant rural America. Jules and his children grow almost all the food they need, and everyone pitches in.
5 pounds of grapefruit.
His daughters, Anise
We have another guy coming to pick up.
and Jordan,
Yeah, are you done? Okay.
and his son, Justin. Their produce is organic, and their animals are, well, friendlier than average.
Say hi. Say hi. We have eight chickens, 4 ducks, and 2 goats. I joke with people. I said I think my animals fit better in a city backyard than a lot of dogs in the neighborhood.
The ducks and chickens lay thousands of eggs a year and keep the bugs in check.
And they really made the dynamics of the urban homestead much more sustainable.
Sustainable and dense. On their 4,000 square feet, they raise 400 varieties of vegetables, fruits, and edible flowers. 6,000 pounds a year, enough to feed themselves with plenty left over. And with the current passion at high-end restaurants for local pesticide-free produce, chefs are literally beating a path to their door.
Hi, how you
Hello,
doing?
good. How are you doing?
So we have your order for today,
Oh, wonderful.
and then I'll get your sorrel here. Stuff is really good. So what are you going to do with the sorrel?
I'm going to use it to make a really nice relish with cucumber for a salmon
that's
dish.
The family makes about $20,000 a year from their front porch sales. They use it to buy the crops they can't grow, like wheat, rice, and oats.
I would say at the beginning, I didn't really believe I could do it. I had some doubts because I kept thinking, this place is too small. There's no way that we're going to be able to feed ourselves. Plus, I never thought we could even grow the vegetables for the market.
So how did this experiment in independent living begin? It all began 10 years ago when Jules bought some taco shells for dinner. He learned too late that the shells were being recalled because they had been made by mistake with genetically modified corn.
When I thought about putting this food in my children's mouth, and they were depending on me to give them good stuff. I mean, they'll take whatever their parent, any child would take what a parent hands them. They'll say, it comes from my mom or dad. And I couldn't afford to be in that position of giving them bad stuff.
Now, a decade later, this radical foodie has succeeded in going off the grid. He calls his lifestyle the path to freedom.
And what did family think of that whole approach?
They thought it was strange. They thought it was. My daughter wouldn't come out of the front yard and visit with her friends because they said, "What's up with your dad?" They wanted to know what was going on because I was making some radical changes here.
The Dervaes have no ugly commute. They avoid office politics and will never get fired. But their jobs are way more than 9 to 5.
I need the help, all the help I can get, and it's my family that, like in the old days, the farmer's family made the difference.
Jordan takes care of the animals.
A joke for them, we call them pet organic composting machines.
Justin is in charge of making sure they get the most out of every square foot of soil. And sometimes the results are extraordinary.
You actually grew this?
Yeah, it's like a little pumpkin, but it's very long.
Just slightly.
Slightly.
He's also the beekeeper.
Oh my gosh, that's the first time I've ever done straight from the honeycomb. Mmm.
Jules prides himself on his gourmet compost.
Yummy, yummy. Only worms could love it.
Could love this.
Of rotten stuff.
Anise is in charge of cooking the vegetarian meals.
All homegrown, strawberries and edible flowers and salad and beets and carrots.
And the canning.
We got grape leaves, pickles, beans, and pickled peppers to all sorts of jams, tomato sauce.
And the menu? That depends on what's in season.
What happens when something's out of season?
We just don't eat it. You're out of luck. It's out of season.
There are no microwave ovens in this kitchen, and no Cuisinarts either.
We have, gizmos, but they're just hand-powered.
What little electricity they use is generated by these solar panels.
How much is your electricity bill?
Well, it's running about the high as $12 a month.
$12 a month for everything here.
Yeah.
They spend even less on gas. This is their biodiesel brewing station.
So this is just used grease from restaurants?
Yeah, they use it to fry onion rings, french fries, anything you would fry.
And you get it free?
Yeah, free and delivered on our doorstep.
The gasoline station is self-serve. It hasn't always been easy. Justin remembers the year that frost wiped out a crop. Another year, it was a destructive insect. And recently, they've noticed a new challenge, climate change.
We call it the forefront of global weirding because we've been gardening for so long, you can sense things are off. We have this June bug that comes out. It's called June, so it's supposed to come out in June, but it comes out in July and August and, September, so something's definitely off.
The other challenge is water. Southern California skies don't deliver enough of it. So Jules keeps the water bill down with this ancient form of irrigation.
That's a clay pot irrigation.
So it's buried under there.
It's buried, usually up to the throat here, and then all you do is fill it up, and the water weeps through the poor skin, through the clay, and you get the water where the plants need it at the root zone. Plants take the water as needed.
So
just so simple.
It's 5 o'clock, dinner time, the time when it all pays off.
Is it going to be inside or outside?
Oh no, it's supposed to be outside.
The Dervaes are the ultimate locavores. Their food traveled a whole 100 feet from the field to the table. They all say they love urban homesteading and can't imagine living a typical consumer-driven life. But there's one thing they would like.
My plans are to have Homesteadville, which is
What's Homesteadville?
a village of all homesteads to start. Start with my family will be there. They'll have their homesteads. Their extended family will be there, and people that want to live this lifestyle will be there.
At the end of the day, some not so back to nature activity. Visits to their websites have grown dramatically. They get about 6 million hits a month from others interested in this grow-it-yourself revolution.
Growing food yourself is a dangerous act because you're in danger of becoming free. We're all in the same boat, on the same planet, and there are people now asking deep questions about the future of the planet, and they're willing to do this. They're willing to take a risk.
It's a risk that has paid off for Jules and is blazing a trail for others.
Salad greens and fish go very well together. And they grow very well together, too.
We're talking about 10,000 fish. We're talking about 1 million pounds of food resin, 300, 400, 500 yards of compost. I want to know, how did you do that here? You know, how did you make that happen on these 3 acres?
We're growing this kind of stuff. We're the largest year-round producer in the state of Wisconsin and maybe one of the largest in the Midwest, and we're a nonprofit. So we're able to grow throughout the winter inside these greenhouses without heat by using the compost pile. On the one side, we've got 10,000 tilapia in there in warm water, and there's the heater that heats the water, that heats the entire greenhouse in the wintertime. And then we've got lake perch grown in cold water over here in this greenhouse. So we're taking, say, 3,000 square feet and turning it into 4,500 square feet of growing space by using vertical growing. We're able to grow these, and these fish runs. One pump operates this entire system. We lift water up, gravity takes it this way on both levels, and it drops back into the system. So this is a very efficient way of growing food. This is ag of the future. Got fish on the bottom, you pump water up and let it matriculate through beds and cleanse them back into the systems down below.
Alan is refining the process with technical help from Fred Binkowski, an aquaculture specialist at the University of Wisconsin Sea Grant Institute.
3,000 pounds of market-sized fish.
You know, the greenhouse model is fairly unique for aquaculture. Not many people have been doing this.
So, what we do at Growing Power here, first of all, is we're farmers, and as we're producing food 365 days a year here. You can see it's freezing outside, but we still have production going on inside. We're farmers. Number two is we're educators. Big tours like this, but also workshops that we host here and around the country and around the world. And three, we're innovators. We're always looking for ways of doing better, streamlining, simplifying, getting more production and getting less ground. And in the city, land tends to get much more expensive, so you have to get more dollars per acre. In fact, the figure that we use here is we're going at about $5 a square foot in this greenhouse. $5 a square foot. So if you look at how many per acre that is, it's about $200,000 per acre. Now, if you go out of there, flows across this bed. This has so much filtration in it. Flows across this bed that has the pea gravel and the watercress. And if you ever want to try some watercress, here's a good place to snap a little bit off.
We use the plants to filter out the waste.
Right.
Plants, soil, and pebbles make natural filters.
Flows across there. There's one pump you can see down there that pumps it up to these two levels, flows through this bed of watercress and underneath those tomatoes, and then back in there to the perch. Okay? It's a really ingenious system for raising tilapia, which is an African fish that can grow in high density. So the idea is that in a 55-gallon drum, you can raise 1 fish per gallon of water. So they're saying within a year, you'll be able to grow 50 pounds of protein with 3 55-gallon drums. One which contains fish, the other one which contains stones, and the third one which contains this stuff here, which is duckweed, which is a food. It's tilapia are vegetarians, and duckweed is about 40% protein. It's excellent food. These 3 barrels are all filled with water, and they're connected with PVC pipe, and the water recirculates between them all. It's supposed to be a real healthy, efficient way of raising fish. However, if you know anything at all about aquarium, you know there's a proportion of surface area to depth that you have to pay attention to. You need to have more surface area than depth And of course, a 55-gallon drum is exactly the wrong thing. And so Will found out that these didn't work very well and started experimenting with different types of systems. And you'll see when we get into Greenhouse 4, the early modular systems. And this is the latest one we built. And I would call it state-of-the-art, except they actually get simpler as we go along. There's what tilapia look like. There's that one right on top there is about the size. There's a really good one there laying on the end. That's about the size.
We're talking about 10,000 fish. We're talking about